Welcome back to the Casting Cost cEDH podcast. I'm Blake.
I'm Chase. We've been snowed in for a few days and we're not really sure what to talk about, but here we go.
Yeah. No, this is just, I think at this point, this is just the routine that we have every single time. We spend like 20 minutes trying to figure out we spend 20 minutes figuring out if we should record. Then we spend like an hour figuring out what to record on. And then we just finally come to some decision. And then we just, And then
and especially since like the past like month, we've had so many interviews. Like we've had 3 interviews just this month already. And so some of the people we've talked to have gotten kind of a behind the scenes of the process. They're probably like, fuck, I don't ever want to deal with that shit ever again. But no, we have been kind of deliberating on what to kind of discuss for today, because there's not a whole lot going on in the format. Like there was a couple of really big events. There's some big events that are coming up. Blake is very thankful for this, but we're kind of behind on doing anything for Lorwyn. Like, I guess spoiler alert, like Hexing Squelcher is probably the best card that got printed in the entirety of the set. I don't know. I don't think that's a hot take. Blake, do you think so?
No, I think that I agree with you. It's the best card in the set. But I don't know. I think that, well, I say that. I think that I just agree. I think that it's the best thing.
He doesn't want to get into it. He's just like, he's not going to trick me into doing a set review that's like 2 or 3 weeks late.
I do think that there were a lot of really interesting cards that got printed from that set that gave some of these decks like new tools and pieces to work with, which is really fascinating. But I don't know. All in all, like, it's the same thing that we see every set. There's like a handful of pieces that are there's like maybe one staple, like or 1 to 2 staples that like they cover every deck, and then there's a couple of niche things for like some of the better strategies, like your Magdas, your Tyum, your Sisay, your whatever, and then everything else is just like hot garbage. And people will swear they're like, this is gonna be so good, this is gonna break the format, and then nobody plays it, and they're like, fuck, man. I thought that card was gonna be so good. Mornsong Aria was gonna be the next thing to put Xur on the map.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now I will say this before we get into anything else. Like I think that Marilyn, the new Sultai commander, I like how like Sultai has just become the definitive like food chain like color combination. Like outside of Atali, like everything else is just Sultai commander, food chain. Like that's okay, cool. I don't know if they intentionally went that direction, but I guess it seems good. I think it even won. Didn't Tim play it in an event recently?
I don't know. I know he's been on Shorekai, so
I know. Yeah, he's been on Shore. Sure. I forgot. I think I saw something that someone won on with Maryland.
I don't know. I know Ian took it to an event.
Okay,
so I do know that. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost certain that he took it to an event. But yeah, and then I remember when we were talking to AJ Gambit when we were playing with him.
Yeah,
he mentioned that he was gonna try and put it together and take apart the Tevish Thras. Also,
it's definitely an interesting. I've kind of toyed around with it myself. I like it. I just don't know if that's ever like a true direction I want to go in just yet. But I feel like between Hexing Squelcher, the Maryland commander that got printed, Formidable Speaker, like those are probably the best cards out of the set. And that's like a very brief mini review for that since we missed it.
I remember like it made me realize how long it's been since we have done like here are the new commanders from this set, and we're going to do a gameplay type of episode. Because I was digging through all of the cards and the proxies and shit that I have at the house because I'm trying to like straighten all that up. And I pull a deck box out of like this big box of bulk, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck's this? And I open it up and it's just Ragos.
I think that was the last one we actually did was for Edge of Eternities. So not to say that we weren't trying to plan and prepare ahead, but for things, it's just I know towards the end of the year last year, just I think we all got caught up in a bunch of things, life changes, and that's about to continue happening. But yeah, it's been a while since we've done any of those gameplays. I might try to do Maryland at some point for the channel because I do think that that is a pretty interesting deck. But I don't know. Outside of that, I know it's almost funny because like even though the set just got released, we also got previews technically from TMNT because was they fucked up and printed a bunch of stuff in the pre-release kits. So I mean that'd be a discussion for a different day. But yeah, we already had like a bunch of Ninja Turtle stuff spoiled as well, and probably everyone knows about all these things. So if that's what you're looking for today, this is not what the episode is about. Again, I'm just like rambling bullshit because we've actually not been together for like maybe 3 weeks. I think this is the first time we've down since the last episode we did together. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, we just besides the goals episode that we did, everything else has just been us doing Discord stuff, like recording with other people, which part of that, I mean, well, not part of that, all of that is my fault, but I get so excited. Like what happens, and this happens every fucking time, I get an idea to be like, let's interview one person. And then I message somebody, and then I end up messaging like 3 or 4 people because I'm like, well, if these people don't respond, like we'll just set something up. And then it just so happens that everybody is like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And then I'm like, oh God, no, now. And then it just becomes like interview city. And honestly, we had done some of the interviews before we even did the goals episode. We had to like strategically move stuff and space it out based off of things that we had said in the episodes. So it was just, yeah, but it was fun. I actually really enjoyed doing all those interviews. Like it was really cool to get to. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just really enjoyed getting to do those interviews, and hopefully people were able to take something away from like each of the interviews, besides like that we're a couple of fucking cheaters. But other than that, but I think that it was just fun, man. At the end of the day,
fucking hate us.
At the end of the day, dude, this format is centered around skill. Like it's still a skill-based format, whether it's how well you know the deck, how well you know the politics, like all that stuff. And so if I'm out here trying to help people get access to this information because I want access to it, and I know that I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that want access to it, and I'm gonna do what I can to help you like learn the skills, figure that stuff out, whatever. But if somebody's pissed off and they hate me for it, fuck you. I don't care. It is what it is.
You heard that right, folks. He said, fuck you. Yeah.
Also, fuck Hasbro, but that's about
it. Yeah. Second. Yeah. After some of the things that we have seen discussed these past couple weeks, things like that, I know that we both stand firmly in agreement on a lot of that. But with what you were talking about, yes, Blake, you are at fault for how many interviews that we've had like the past like month and a half. But it's a good segue into what we are talking about for today. So as part of this journey that we have been on, and Blake's just I don't even know how to explain it. Just ADHD, charismatic as fuck, approach to everything. He has reached out to a fuck ton of people. I don't even know, like outside of just waiting to talk and just yap, I don't I don't know why he did this at first, but obviously like the goal is to like get better and be able to just kind of compile a bunch of information and see what you either get out of it, can learn from it, what your takeaways are, things like that. And so what we're actually doing tonight, we're going through this document that Blake has composed of where he's asked all these different players in the space. Now, we're not going to go through each individual one, but maybe just try to highlight the main points that it seems like players are consistently addressing like these are the things that if you want to get better in the format, this is what you need to hit. Now, before I kind of let Blake explain a little bit more of what this document is and like we get into it, don't forget the things. You know, if you're already this far into the video and you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and drop it. Go down below, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and just help us get. We're actually getting really, really close to 2K subs, which is pretty exciting because we did just start this channel like less than, well, now a little bit over a year ago. So I think that's really, really cool. And also, if you enjoy our content, go ahead and hit a like button and drop a comment down below. Also, you could join us on Discord and Patreon. If you're in the state of Kentucky, there's also a Kentucky cEDH Discord link down there as well. Blake, do you have any other of the housekeeping things to talk about?
I was looking at the list. Did you say anything about Man of All Proxies?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, well, if not, then you all should go to Man of Vault Proxies and use code. I think this is backwards. Yes, this is backwards. It's gonna, well, fuck, I don't actually know now which is the right way to do it. But use code CCC. If this is backwards, just flip it. I don't fucking care. And at checkout, and get yourself a discount on your deck. Also, I ordered a fuck ton of proxies from this because I wanted to see if they were good or not, and I got like 950 cards just, you know, in the mail, and they were in fantastic condition. They feel amazing when you play them, and I now have access to Yuriko, which fucking sucks, but it just is what it is. So if you haven't done it already, you should go to Man of All Proxies. They literally feel amazing. They fit so good. Like they feel just like a real card. So like they feel amazing. And I've messed around with other proxies. Like I've had friends that we've gotten proxies off of. I've had people like let me see some of their proxies from other places. And I mean they're really good proxies. They feel good, they look good. So if you're thinking about proxying out a deck, just splurge a little more, get a nice deck. You can play it at literally like any proxy friendly event instead of them being like no paper cutouts in front of your cards. And then you ain't got to worry about it. So, yeah, use code. And then if the other one was backwards, then use code CCC. Thank you, Notorious and Wild. We appreciate you guys.
Yes, absolutely. So.
Also, they sent us some decks, and we should probably give some of these decks away because they said we could use them for stuff. One of those decks being like Rogsai. I don't fucking like that deck. So we'll probably be giving that deck away at some point. And then they sent us a couple other things. So we've got some decks that we're going to hopefully be giving away soon, which will be fun. So we'll figure out how we're going to go about that, and then we'll let y'all know. So stay tuned.
Oh yeah. So, yep, I think that's it for the housekeeping stuff. Now let's get on to the discussion. So, what led you to like just reach out to like literally everyone and just be like, "Hey, give me your tips,
dude." Okay.
and the things to get better.
What's funny? Okay, so what happened? Whenever we did the video with Max and then we did the video with Evan, I was putting together a list of questions that I wanted to ask, and one of the things that popped into my head was, what is the one skill that you would say like focus on to get better, or to like for somebody to like get better at cEDH? And then I realized I was like, man, this would be really fun to ask like a bunch of people. I just fucking hopped on Discord and I literally copied it from the thing. And like I like generic message like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And then I just went through and I looked at all of the people that I had friended from all my crazy networking that were like good players. And I just sent the message to every single one of them. And like, then I had people that all of a sudden, like it went from just the people that I knew to all of a sudden I sent the message to somebody, and then they were putting me in group chats with other people, and then I was asking the message there, and then I was getting responses, and like it was just fucking nuts. So I ended up like asking, like I asked way more than that, but I got like 25 responses from like really good players. Which
I bet for you it was like dopamine hit after dopamine hit after dopamine hit.
Yeah. It was really good. It was pretty good. And you know, just to shout out, I guess like some of the names, obviously, because like, well, I'll shout out the people that I asked that answered, because thank you. And then obviously we won't be able to get into everybody's, but I at least want to like tell them thank you for like responding. But we asked Wounded Satellite, Freedom Waffle, Austin from Critical EDH, Logan from Critical EDH, Jason Doan from Critical EDH, Eric from Critical EDH, Jordan Drake, aka Steel Dragon, Corbin, Blue Farm Corbin, that kicks my ass in every single
From
event that I
Lemon Pepper.
fucking
Yeah.
go to. Yeah, for some reason,
Yeah.
like, Corbin's always there. Brandon the Reaper Lucia, Ty Ohio, Anthony, aka Glacial City. Shout out Anthony. He actually was one of the people that put me into a bunch of group chats with other people. So thank you.
Yeah.
Grant Andrew Eklund, aka I Have Your Best Interest in Mind, aka Tutu Bird, aka any other fucking name that Grant goes by. Yeah. Good old our buddy Jake G, aka Zarek. Shout out like, while we're thinking about this, shout out Jake. If y'all are not already going to the Tabernacle event, March 7th,
March 7th.
Sign up for that, because Jake's putting together a kick-ass event and we're gonna be there, so y'all should fucking go.
Yes.
So
it's going to be a big one-day event, but we're going.
Yeah, Jake is good people. He loves the format. He's really fucking cool, and I know he's going to put on an amazing event. So go out there. That shit's going to be awesome. So we're really excited to go. Julian S, aka Sunglasses, Max P. Yeah, I'm sorry, Max. I can't pronounce your last name. Varix, aka Kevin Simmons. Grandma Xander Hardy. Good old Matt Hayes. Jacob L, aka Bad Dog. Kellen Quinn, aka Hebrew Hercules, Notorious, Zachary Snack Adler, Isaac from the Ohio crew. I'm gonna mispronounce the fuck out of it. I'm so sorry. His name's Brian, I'm pretty sure, but it's like the Croche, the Croc, the something. I don't know. CROCE. Sorry, Brian. And then Jorman, aka Twang.
Fuck.
So I asked a fuck ton. I talked to a fuck ton of people, but it was really fun, dude. But I got a ton of great responses, which was fun. And also, like, the thing is that we don't have like the best track record, but every one of these people that we asked, they have fucking crazy track records. So if you don't listen to us, listen to them. They're really good.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, and it's so funny. Like, and whenever I was making the comment a little bit ago, like dopamine hit after dopamine hit after dopamine, like literally Blake does not give a shit. He'll reach out to whoever to have a conversation. And so we've addressed that multiple times on the channel, but I do think it's awesome that and it's like I told you before I started recording this, like you've had this in our Discord for like at least a couple weeks now, right? Like, and I haven't even taken a look at it. And part of it is because I did want to do this as far as going over this, like together of like maybe some of the responses you got from it, not just our opinions on things. And just whatever you guys hear, drop it down in the comments below. Like, what are your takeaways from this list? And if you want to see it yourself, again, you have to join our Discord. It's in there. Just do it. So, was there anyone, like, who do you want to start with? Like, was there anyone in particular that you're looking at over this list again and going, I want to talk about this first?
Well, none that I'm necessarily wanting to start with, but if you want to see some of the responses to these, you can go check out some of the interviews that we just did with Wounded, Freedom Waffle, and then also Jordan Drake, aka Still Dragon, because we did an interview with all three of those people, and I'm pretty sure I asked that question to all of them on the episode, so you can go see the responses. But yeah, no, I think one of the most fascinating things, the one that probably got my brain just ticking the most was, I think, Jason's, because I asked him, and Jason Doan from Critical, but I asked him, and Jason's response was, I would have to say technical magic skill. There's a reason why these 60 card players like Sam Black and Brian Koval just randomly show up in our format and start winning. You need to know how to play the base game properly, assess threats, and see win lines. And I thought that it was really fascinating that he said that, because it got me thinking. Like, I was talking one day to Matt Hayes, and Matt had mentioned that, like, Jason he's thinking so far ahead. And he was like, literally, there are things that he'll do in game that even Matt, who's a fantastic player, Matt will literally be like, there's no way that I ever will get to the level of this guy. Like, he's just so good. You know what I mean? And that says a lot about a player. Like, most people will not be a Jason Doan. It's just not going to happen. But it got me thinking, because I think that something that just stood out was, I think that certain decks in our format lend more towards the 60 card skills. And when you look at somebody like Brian Koval and you look at somebody like Sam Black, like they're very good Magic players. And I think that their deck choices lent to, like they lend to that. Like if you think about a deck like Rogsai, it's very turbo, especially back whenever like Dockside was very, like prevalent and stuff, but it was very turbo. You knew the breach lines, like it was, you're basically playing the deck. So if you know the deck and you know Magic, then it's going to benefit you greatly. Same thing with like a Rogthras type of deck. It's a lot of sequencing, understanding like how to be very efficient with your mana, how to, like just lots of math, like lots of, again, sequencing and knowing weird interactions. And I feel like that's straight up like Sam Black's alley. So I just think that it's really fascinating that he had mentioned that. And it just got me thinking like, okay, yeah, these guys, if you have a strong suit in the knowledge of Magic, then I think that you can benefit greatly from picking up a deck that allows you to express that and maybe doesn't have you having to like politic as much or having to like rely more on some of the other skills that are really prevalent in CDH. Like you'll still get a benefit from learning that stuff, but I think that a lot of those people, the part of the reason why they're so good is they were just like, hey, this is not a skill that I'm necessarily great at right now or want to be good at. I'm just going to pick a deck and I'm going to like play a game plan that allows me to like showcase what I am good at. And then they just kind of go from there.
Right.
But I thought that was really fascinating.
Right. No, and I agree with like this comment as far as like being like one of the main things to be able to focus on whenever you are either getting into cEDH or you've been playing for a while, things like that. Like someone could be really, really good at politicking, right? Someone could be very good at making deals and negotiating and things like that. But if they aren't sequencing their deck correctly, or they aren't understanding the appropriate time to interact on the stack, or how to manage their resources, things like that, or pick the maybe a more appropriate window for them to go. Like politicking is only going to get you so far. Like, yes, there's a lot of players, and even in the list, as I'm kind of looking through it, like there's a lot of players that highlight the importance of politicking. But if you don't understand the basics, if you're not feeling confident in navigating, certain lines, like you brought up Underworld Breach. So like if you're not feeling confident in breach lines, like that might not be a style of play that you're looking for. Or if you're not comfortable in sequencing a lot of things, or in a deck like Rogthras where you have access to a lot of mana, right? You have to sequence things appropriately to get more draws, see more cards, like things like that, because you can't just like start putting activations on the stack and then that just opens up a window of opportunity for someone else to win on whatever you're doing, right? So you have to be very careful with what you're doing. But if you don't understand those points first, then the politics is only going to get you so far, right? And I think that being able to kind of slow your pacing of the game out so that way you're actually better understanding, okay, this is what the deck is, not just the deck, but what I'm trying to do. I need to be looking for these things. I need to manage things in this way so that way I'm kind of like setting myself up more for success. Like I think that we are where we're kind of in the format right now where like people are still just kind of jamming for most of the time. It's not that they don't have the technical skill. I think those players that like you really have to like those players that are successful with a lot of the turbo stuff right now, I think you do have to have a lot of technical skill to it. I mean, obviously this format there's a lot of variance and sometimes you're not going to get the best results or you're going to get unlucky with things like that. But like the reason why those players are seeing such success is because of the way they're sequencing things and the way they understand the game from that standpoint first. Because if you look at like a Ral or an Atali or like Rogsai or things like that, like those are kind of decks that you're not really wanting to politic. Like you're not really wanting to have those conversations. You can, obviously, for sure.
Right.
Like the technical skill there is like that's the reason why you're seeing all these turbo players perform very well, you know, and I'm using turbo as an example because I mentioned the whole politics portion of things. Like you can get by in this format without having to be so dependent on your words and politicking, that if you have the technical skill to back yourself up, like these pilots that are performing well on these decks, like that's what they're seem to be more dependent on. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't politic. There's a reason why they are as good as they are, and politics does play a vital role in that. But again, I'm going back to what I said earlier. Like if you don't understand kind of the basics of what you're trying to do, whether that is just interacting on the stack or sequencing your combo lines or learning how to kind of create like tempo plays for yourself, so that way you're creating as much advantage for yourself in the game as you can. Like that's an area where I think all players are going to have to continue to work on like refining and getting more confident in.
Yeah. No, well, and it made me start thinking too, like whenever when I got that response, like it's made me start to look at some of the other decks in a different light. Like I feel like I learned this. So like I went to the Play to Win event up in Pennsylvania. Dude, I fucking sucked in that event. And this is nothing again. Like I don't want this to sound bad at all. When I went to the very first Play to Win event, I was brand new to cEDH. I didn't really know much about what I was doing. And so I was just trying to like figure stuff out. I'm playing games, you know, and I was just kind of doing my thing. And this time when I went back, I was thinking like, oh yeah, man, I'm prepping for a tournament. I've been to some of these events, you know, whatever. And then, I mean, I get there and it's very, even Jake, not like Louisville Jake, you know, go Cake Daily, but he made the comment where he was like, it feels like this is like the intro cEDH tournament for people. Like there were lots of people in games that were like, oh, this is the first time I'm ever resolving ad nos, or this is the first time that I've ever, you know, just whatever. Like it was their first time doing XYZ. And it made me realize very quickly, like my deck is highly tailored to, especially whenever I made edits for that event, it was highly tailored to needing to be able to politic with people and get people to make people make threat assessments that lend to my favor. Like that was the best way that like Matt Hayes put it. Like he was like a control deck typically does well. If you can get people to play the game out to its natural conclusion, you typically should be the one that comes out the most ahead. It's just your job is to make people make those decisions that kind of let the game play out to that natural conclusion, and eventually you'll win the game. And when you're playing a lot of new players and, you know, people are afraid of a heuristic study, they're not going to politic with you. And I mean, it showed that whole event. I was like, fuck, dude, I'm struggling. Like nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to, nothing. And again, like you're going to run into that. It made me kind of realize that some of the best decks, like the decks, the reason they are the best is because you have multiple options. If you show up to a table and nobody wants to politic and you're on blue farm, fuck it. I'm going Nas. I'm sending it. You know, whatever. I'll just like go turbo plan. Oh, we're at a table where people want to use their words and we want to socialize more. Okay, I'm going mid-range plan. Oh, this is going to be a very long game. Okay, I've got enough interaction that I can play somewhat of a control plan. Yeah, I mean, like, it's the same thing with Kennen. Kennen can put up turn 1, turn 2 wins, like if you were looking for the right hand, or it can play the long game. You can play control Kennen, like whatever you need to do. These decks that do really, really well are very versatile. They can play both plans. And I think that that's important. Like, and that when he made that comment, that made me start thinking. I was like, And again, it wasn't anything to do with the 60 card specific. It was just like I got to thinking about the deck choices of like, you know, Koval and like Sam Black, and then it made me start thinking about other people's deck choices, and then made me start thinking of my own. And then I had that experience, and it just started opening up like so many different pathways. It was fun. But yeah, so thank you, Jason, for giving us that wonderful response. I'm really glad. And also thank you for responding, because there were some people that did not. So you were one of the awesome ones. Hell yeah. And what's funny is I actually thought that, because we had a whole conversation about this with Ty Ohio, I thought for sure Ty was going to say 60 card, but no, he said memorization, learning, noticing play patterns within games. After that, probably mulligans. So I was like, Ty, I thought he was for sure going to be like, just play 60 card, bro. Play 60 card. It'll make you better.
Yeah. Well, I think that that kind of hits like a lot of different points. Like, I think that Ty making that comment there, it's like you want to be very familiar with what the meta is, right? Like, you need to be familiar with what Rogthras is trying to do, what Sisay is trying to do, what Zur is trying to do, like whatever it might be that you're like playing against, so you're not caught off guard. Now, obviously, like, you know, me on Sisay for example, like I am trying to kind of bounce back and forth on which version of it I truly want to be on. I've been on Pod for like the past like almost year on it, but I've played like all the other variations of it, and I've always said Sisay kind of always has like Brewer's advantage, but if I'm sitting at a table and I'm playing against people that aren't familiar with what the deck is trying to do, or maybe I am like very transparent on like, hey, I am playing this version of this deck and people still don't know what that is, like you got to be able to recognize what the play patterns are. That deck's trying to make a lot of mana. It's trying to put a bunch of activations potentially on the stack or see certain pieces. Same thing for all these other decks like Rogsai, and I use Ral and Natali. Like you need to sit down and you need to know like, hey, these decks are trying to go off as soon as they can. Like, oh, this is the point you need to interact with, or we need to have these conversations before we actually get into the game of how we're going to deal with this. Like, having that knowledge of what the other decks are trying to do at the table is I feel like very crucial, especially right now in our format where it's like, we're still seeing the main stuff, but just this past weekend there was like we were talking a lot about this before we started recording too, like a bunch of like really like odd decks that placed, and that's kind of the variance that you can't really plan for too much, but like um what one of the decks was it at the Rumble where the Abzan deck placed?
Yeah, Timna Halana.
Yeah, so like even if you're not familiar with the deck, like, oh, this is an Abzan colors, it's probably going to try to do some kind of like creature combo synergies, or a lot of times we see in Abzan like stacks pieces. So I need to kind of be aware of that, be prepared for that going into the game.
Well, not only that, but like when somebody's really good with their strategy, like Nile, we've covered his list, I think, multiple times now in like the Timna Halana list. And yeah, it's the deck clearly works and he's a very good pilot. So fuck it. But yeah, I just thought that was hilarious. Which I think that, I don't know. I think that there's just so many. I was talking to Craig about this, which again on Discord he's what was Brazzy True, but I was talking to Craig about that, where Craig will literally just go through and like read primers on anytime he sees a deck that like pops up out of nowhere and is like kicking ass, he'll just go and like read a primer on it and like just learn a lot of like the niche weird synergies and the lines, and then he'll like goldfish it on Moxfield and like do stuff. And I was like, that's really smart, because then at least you're not setting down completely blind whenever you're playing against a deck.
Right. And so like, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like you don't want to show up to like an event like completely caught off guard at what's at the table. And like even if you don't know what the deck is trying to do, don't be afraid to ask questions. Like I've played against people that maybe they are trying to be like very secretive about it, but I've also gone to events and played against people that like I literally sat there and was just like, I don't remember what your deck is trying to do. And one of those decks was the Get Rug Monster, the last event I went to. I was like, I forgot how this deck even functions. And like the person like walked me through it and like things like that. And I still fucking lost to it. But like, but like it's one of those things where like if you're not familiar with something, like don't be afraid to say something, because even if the person sitting across from you that's playing that deck doesn't say anything, chances are I bet there is someone at the table that does know what it is that the strategy of the deck is, things like that. So that way you can kind of get everyone in on the same page of like, hey, this is what we need to do to stop whatever strategy. And I kind of feel like this comment even goes a little bit beyond just just noticing play patterns within the game. Like I know Ty mentioned that. It kind of also reminds me of what Kellen mentioned down here. I'll read this part real quick. where he's talking about like a difference between CEDH and TEDH within this is like how to politic and play the person. So being able to like recognize the play patterns of the individual person you're playing against, you know.
What's funny is I got his response and I got Grant Eklund's response like at the exact same time, and that was exactly what that was pretty much the exact same thing that Grant gave, which Grant gave a fucking super thorough answer. So thank you also, because and Kellen did too, but like he gave a long ass answer. Like if you look at his, it's very long, but yeah, that was kind of the same thing. Like if you're brand new, pick a deck and like get muscle memory, and Kellen pretty much said the same thing. Like pick a deck, play it till it's boring, learn the lines, whatever. And then both of them were like, if you're at like that TDH level, learn how to play the person that you're playing against. There have been a lot of games where, I mean, I wasn't even thinking about it until one day Kellen made the comment on one of our videos where I was playing fucking Dargo Timna and I could have tutored up a win and like done some other shit. And I just feel this need to like control the table and to do stuff. And Kellen was like, Matt Hayes played you like a fiddle. Like I went and fucking tutored up Silence and I was like waiting for Yaw to go off with like Rogsai. And I was like, yeah, buddy, I've got this Silence whenever, you know. Yeah. And like, yeah, so learning to play
Yeah.
the people. Yeah, I got played hard.
Your need to control and yap is what fucking gets you.
Yep. Yeah, it was bad, man. He got me good, dude. He got me good. I've played a lot of games with Matt Hayes, and I've yet to get one over on that dude. He's so fucking good. Which, to be fair, Matt is a super nice guy and like is willing to like actually sit down. Like he'll help me with all sorts of shit. He'll be like, "Hey, let's work on the deck. Let's go over what we just saw in the game that we played against each other. Let's do all this stuff." Like, great guy. But yeah, he fucking. I mean, he's good, dude. I'm telling you, man. They read you like a fiddle, or they play you like a fiddle. I mean, they're like.
I think that brings up a good point though, and I don't think it's like within the comments here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like I feel as though there's something to be said about like once you've played a certain way for so long, trying to actually set yourself up where you are trying to like be more mindful of it and then being able to kind of switch up your play patterns. Like whether that is how you politic, what it is you're looking for to mulligan, how you would actually play or a certain deck or things like that. Like obviously you want to play the type of deck that you're playing. You want to make sure that you have a solid understanding of what the deck is trying to do. But as far as like playing in a way where maybe those patterns aren't as recognizable, or you're constantly trying to make changes in the way that you're playing, so that way you won't be caught off guard whenever someone really good is sitting across from you, and you've played them a couple times, and like just getting your shit pushed in at all times every single time you do it, but like maybe being more reflective on like, oh, I need to do it this way, or maybe I need to do less of this, and you might start catching people off guard. And I think that can be something that actually turns out to be beneficial to you whenever you're playing, is like finding like if people are trying to play you, trying to find ways to not let them play you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. I think there's been games where I've gotten like talked into doing some stupid stuff. I think that ultimately at the end of the day, it like again like being able to play the people at the table, but also to some degree being able to step back and say, hey, because I was thinking about this, but like I'm not necessarily playing Kellen or Zach or Matt or whoever. It's like, listen, yes, I'm technically playing them, but like I'm playing Blue Farm or I'm playing against Dargo Timna or I have a general idea of what this deck wants to do. And then just not allowing yourself to get like so fixated or like awestruck on the person that you're playing against. There's been a lot of games, man, where I've played against like really good players, and then I'm sitting there fucking freaking out, being like, I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to make a bad decision. And then they're like, what a dumbass. You know what I mean? And I even told that to Zach. I said, dude, how did you get past that? Like before you were Zach Adler, how did you, walk up to a table and be like, oh, that's Evan Freedom Waffle Pierce, or oh, that's fucking, like who insert whoever in place of Evan Freedom Waffle period. I can't think right now, but like insert whoever. I've got a list of all these great players. I could just pick a name, just fucking throw it out there. But that's Andy Beach, you know. But yeah, like it's like, how did you get past that? And he was like, dude, I look stupid all the fucking time. He's like, I literally, you know, he didn't say this, but like he won the fucking invitational, and he's like, I still look stupid all the time. It's just part of the game, like. But just being confident in yourself is, I think, super important. And I think that.
Well,
oh, go ahead.
But the only thing I was going to say, and I'll tie it into what you just said there, like the point you were making of just like being able to like sit across from people, even if you know them, they're your friends, they're more than friends. They you know, a really good player, like whatever it might be. Like it goes back to that point that Ty sent you of like being able to memorize things, recognizing play patterns, being able to see the deck kind of for what it is, and like make sure you have that understanding of it first. So that way, when you are going up against, you know, Kellen, Zach Adler, Brandon, like whoever we're gonna see at events, like you know what their strategies are, and you go into it with that mindset of being prepared. Now, the last thing you were talking about there was like the confidence, and that's I feel like whenever we've done either episodes where we're interviewing people or we're talking about these skills or things like that, like I genuinely believe that confidence is like one of the biggest things, because if you don't have that, the rest of it is going to kind of fall apart. And like I know that Logan, in your response, like he put here, confidence is probably my answer. It's a soft skill, but probably the most important one. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. Like if you are not, you know, there's a difference between going to an event and feeling like nervous and anxious about it versus going to an event and like already beating yourself up. Cause like I know for me personally, like whenever I'm going to an event, like there's a lot of preparation. I have some anxiety for it. Usually that first round I got like a little bit of the shakies, and then like once that's done, I'm okay. And like, but I still feel okay with what I'm doing. Now, if I just like scrub out a round or it's multiple rounds in a row and I start like just being like, I'm fucking stupid. I shouldn't have done it this way. Like I'm one dumb motherfucker for doing that. Like if I'm doing that to myself the whole time, my confidence is going to go down. And then how's the rest of that day going to go? You know, like I think that that's something that's important for people to remember. But aside from that, the idea of confidence in this game, like it does impact your technical skill, your ability to politic, you know, feeling good about the deck selection and what you are trying to prepare yourself with, like things like that. I confidence is key. Like that's where I'm at on that one.
Well, I've always heard people say that like the difference between anxiety and confidence is like they're the exact same feeling. It's just the emotion you attach to it. Like anxiety is like a negative emotion attached to it. It's like, and then confident or like excitement is like the positive side of it. Like I could be very anxious for a race that I've got coming up, and maybe the reason is like I feel like I haven't prepared enough, or I feel like I haven't done enough. I feel like there's really good players that are really good runners that I'm gonna go against, or like, you know, I'm excited. I've put in the work. I've done, you know, it's just the emotions you attach to it. And like, I don't know how many people out there that obviously watch this have played against Logan, but I've played against Logan a couple times, and he's very fucking confident that what he's doing is the right thing. And most of the time it pays off. Like most of the time he's like, yeah, I'm doing this. And you're just like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. And then he just wins the game, and you're like, fuck, okay. So he's very good. I mean, he's a damn good player. So obviously, like, I agree. And again, that kind of goes back to that whole thing of not wanting to look stupid. Like, there was games where I don't remember who it was that said that. I can't remember if it was Evan or if it was Max, but one of them made the comment that you know your deck. Don't, like, obviously you can still fuck up with your deck just because you know the deck, but like, know that what you're doing, like if you feel really confident that this is the correct decision, then like stick to your guns. And there have been a lot of times where I've been talked out of making decisions and it bites me in the ass. And there's some times where I just say, fuck it, I'm going to make this decision. And then it ends up paying off. Like, you know, remember that while politics is a huge part of this game, your opponents do not have your best interest at heart. They have their best interest at heart. And, you know, they're going to do what they can do to, you know, speaking of politics, I guess like obviously ton of people obviously said politics.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I'm just looking here, and it's like, Evans mentioned politics, but like Evan said politics, Austin said politics. Jordan Drake mentioned politics. Corbin mentioned politics. Obviously, like we were just talking about Grant and Kellen, but like even them like politicking, but like the player, but like politics. Anthony from Glacial City was one of the people that when he said politics, it really made me rethink the way that I was thinking about politics, because he didn't necessarily say politics. He was like gathering information, which I was like,
Yeah.
And it was essentially, like he was like, when I coach people, I ask like, what is politics? And then he was like, his interpretation is it's gathering quality data, providing data, hiding your data, and managing it to your benefit. So he's like, imagine you could see all three players' hands. He was like, you could make the best possible decision to win the game. And it just made me completely rethink the way that I was going about politics. And even Matt, same thing, taking it back to Matt Hayes, but like he made a comment where he was like, if you can avoid it at all costs, and I fucking still let it happen, I documented on a gameplay where Zach Adler was like, Blake, show me your hand. I was like, yes, sir, here you go. Here you go. And he's like, congrats, you lose. But like, he was like, if you can avoid it, don't fucking show people your hand. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. That's a pretty good point. Yeah, no, it is what it is. But
there's that whole playing the person thing.
I really wanted that imp seal to resolve, dude. Fuck me. But yeah.
No, I actually really like what Anthony had to say on this as far as being able to gather information and providing things and things like that, because I know whenever I'm playing, like, and you and I, we've had discussions on this. I feel like whenever I'm politicking, it's more of like I am kind of trying to like lay out what I'm seeing in front of me without trying to reveal as much of myself as I can. And so, but I think that it goes back a little bit to what we were talking about as far as like the technical end of things too. Like he's viewing things as another resource in the game. Like your words and what you can gather, that's just another resource, and trying to manage all of that to the best of your ability um is probably what I feel like he's trying to get out of that, but I could be wrong.
No, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think, yeah, it's so fascinating. Yeah, I just, yeah, I think that it's very fascinating how many people like actually said politics, and like they gave their own interpretation and stuff of it, obviously. But that when he said that, it really made me rethink the way that I was looking at politics. Like sometimes you just yap for the sake of yapping because it just is what it is, and like but when you think about it as like, hey, I'm not necessarily talking to talk. I'm literally like, I'm trying to get something out of this. Like, and I even asked Zach, I made the comment when we played against them, but I said, hey, like, I tried politicking in this one game and it didn't really go that well. Like, what do you think? And he made a comment where he was like, you try to outline what the person is getting out of the deal. Like, don't necessarily talk about all the benefits that you're getting. Talk about what they are getting out of the deal, and just try to like say everything that you can in as concise and clear way as possible, because at that point you have given all the information very clearly. The person kind of understands like what's being said, and you've outlined it in a way that shows the benefit to them. And so, again, like and I have a horrible habit because I fucking ramble and go all over the place, and I'd be sitting there in mid game and I'm thinking about 13 different things, and then I'm trying to politic, and then I say a lot or I say too much, and then it bites me in the ass. And so even that, just being more concise and trying to be like, hey, I know you want to do this. I feel like it would be in your best interest not to, because XYZ. Ultimately, you do what you need to do, but that is just my whatever. What I mean? But just like being very concise and clear. And so I thought that was really good. Do you have any more that you want to touch on that before I jump to this next person?
Well, I think just kind of like, you kind of made the comment there a little bit ago about like everyone kind of had their own different like interpretation of what politics is. Like we just highlighted Anthony's like quite a bit there, but as far as like either trying, like some people are just like trying to either negotiate deals. I know like in Corbin's, it seemed like the first thing he addresses is just like kind of the sense of like having casual conversation. And again, that goes back to the whole confidence piece as well. Like, regardless if you're trying to politic, like this is a social game, so interact with people, be personable, like, talk to one another and have fun. But like, you can utilize that as in of its own in your political strategies. Like, there's different ways of approaching that. Like, Corbyn's talking about, having like more lighthearted type conversations and utilizing that as a way to build rapport with people. I know Zach has mentioned that quite a bit. Whereas Zach, though, like he's also kind of highlighted at times the whole like idea of having like empathy for other people, and like how you were using that example there of like, how do you get the others how do you get the other people to not only understand your perspective in politicking, but help them like kind of visualize and see what it is that they are getting out of things as well. Anthony's is like gathering information. Like, a lot of times, even for myself, it's a lot of just like, hey, this is where I see the game and where it's going, and just trying to not necessarily like throw people off of me, but just being able to be like, hey, like this is something that we all need to be kind of prepared for. How do we prepare for this, like in these events, things like that. So yeah, almost I feel like almost everyone on your list included something about politicking. So yeah.
I do think it's kind of funny because I'm just now like right now I'm just thinking about um like even this makes me kind of laugh, but the idea of looking at the types of decks these people play and then their responses, because I think it's really funny that somebody like Jordan Drake and then even somebody like Notorious, they both mentioned, or even Max P, and then like they all mentioned window theory, like the idea of like knowing when to go for it. And I think it's funny that all three of them mentioned that because you have these people that don't necessarily want to interact. They're like Notorious is like trying to figure out when to do the Arkham thing. And then you have somebody like Max P and Jordan who are on like TNT that are like a kind of a go long deck, and they're just like, window theory, like figuring out when to go. Like Jordan told us, I love winning on top of people. And so he, clearly he's very good at picking the window and being like, oh, right now. And I think it's so funny how their decks lend to that. But then you have somebody on the opposite end, like Brandon, good example, loves control. He's like knowing your role at the table. Or even Matt Hayes saying knowing when it is and isn't your responsibility to interact. Like, and again, they both build like more control stuff. Like Brandon's like Shorakai and some of those types of decks, and then Matt Hayes is playing like a control version of the farm list. That's why me and him were talking so much about Zur. He was helping me kind of like add some control flair to, or more control like pieces, get rid of some of the unnecessary stuff in Zur, and
Right.
so I think it's so funny how. Are you still able to hear me, by the way? On my end, I'm looking like I'm all over the fucking place.
They're everywhere at the moment, but I could hear some of it.
Good. For some reason, it was lagging. But yeah, I just think that it's funny how the decks that they play kind of influence the answers that they gave.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, but that was essentially what Matt said. He was like knowing, yeah, I think its underrated aspect is matchups, like situation dependent tutor targets and threat assessment, realizing when it is, and more importantly, is not your responsibility to interact, and when you need to force a draw with your interaction to prevent yourself from losing to another player. And I was like, that is very fascinating. But yeah. Um, one that I really thought was super fascinating was Zach, because again, you remember how I told you the I mentioned the thing about these players seeing this shit in like 4D. I was like,
Yeah.
like everybody's seeing it like 2D, and they're seeing it like 3D and 4D, and like the chess analogy, like people that are really good at chess, they're able to like predict far into the future of like what's gonna happen in a game. And it's so funny because Zach literally said, if I were to really break it down into a single best way to improve, it would be to ask yourself, what will the next turn of the game is going to look like? Or what will the next turn look like? The better a player is, the further ahead they will be able to see, and the better you can assess threats and push for their window. And so I just thought that was super fascinating because he essentially said window theory, but he just said it in a way that like made so much more sense to me. I was like, oh shit, this is so cool.
I mean, yeah. No, and I like that he brought this up. I like that just the idea of being able to, and again, it goes back to the whole idea of being confident. Like in order to do that, like in order to kind of visualize the board state and think about like where people are going in the rotation and like how people are accruing resources, or is this deck trying to go right now, or and like having a game plan prepared for that, before it even gets back to you, or one or two steps ahead of everyone. Like that's what it not only is going to keep you in the game, but it's probably going to help present the win for you, and kind of helps you identify like, is the window here, or is it, or have I even passed the window? Or, okay, do I have maybe 2 turns before the window is actually open for me to go? Because it looks like maybe the Kennen player is set up and the Zer player has a lot of control pieces, but we're trying to get through Rogsi's turn right now. So I need to kind of assess where I'm at right now currently, and I need to assess where they're at. Okay, Rogside looks like they're about to go, but if Blake is sitting back on Zer, he's probably got enough control and enough counter magic in him that he's going to stop the Rogside player. And if not, then Kennen's here in the seat before him, and he's probably got some pieces, even if it's just one interactive piece. I'm going to sit here, I'm going to chill for a little bit. And whenever I need to interact, I'm going to interact here. Or if they try to go, Zach being the blue farm player, he's probably be like, I'm just gonna put a win on top of it all.
No, but no, I do think it's so funny. Yeah, I think that also this is another one just to touch on too that I thought was really cool. But one of the things that Varix, so Kevin, he mentioned, which also shout out to him, he just fucking kicked ass. It was the Rumble where he took Thras Vile Smasher Thrasios.
Oh
Fucking
yeah,
kicked some ass. So congrats to him. But he mentioned comprehension, which was really, really cool. So like he's like, a lot of people are good at politics, but they're not actually good at comprehending what is actually happening within the game. And I think that that's kind of, again, stemming off of what Zach said, but like being able to predict what's going to happen and also understanding like what is happening and kind of like what you said, like where the direction of the game is going to go. I think a lot of people fail to do that. Like you're not thinking ahead in this, or you're not even, again, like what's actually happening. You think you're very safe, and then all of a sudden something happens and it's like the whole game has shifted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're looking over here at insert XYZ player because they got lots of cards in hand. You're like, yeah, this player is the problem. And then next thing you know, fucking so-and-so over here drops a combo piece that you didn't even know existed. And you're like, oh, never mind. We're losing right now. So, I mean, I just think that is so funny.
Those damn Arkham players.
I love Notorious. I love him, but mind over matter is not a value engine, brother. It combos very well with the value engines, but it ain't a value engine, brother. And then also what Max, so Wounded, and good old Grandma Xander Hardy mentioned about just, again, like nuanced decision making and like adaptability, that kind of stuff. But I really liked what Xander said. Which shout out Xander, love you, brother. But he made a
love
comment.
you,
butter, yeah, love you, butter. Love you, Grandma, yeah. But just the idea that like there's not always an objectively correct play, like that I thought was really cool, because sometimes like people will beat themselves up thinking, I fucked up, I did XYZ. But there's just, you can't know all the information unless after the game is over, everybody lays their shit out and you just go, oh, and you look at all the pieces that were there, you look at all the, the top card of the everybody's deck, like what are they going to draw? Like you just don't know. There's so much variance in the format. There's so many things that can happen. Just being able to adapt and like kind of, again, nuanced decision making decisions on the fly versus just being like, I've always got to make the objectively correct decision. I've always got to use my mana perfectly efficiently. I've always got to do all these things. And it's like, sometimes no. Like sometimes it is correct you've got 3 mana for a Rhystic Study, and you could play the Rhystic Study, but you've got 2 counter spells in hand. Maybe just leave your 3 mana up. Sure, less mana efficient, but again, like it just is what it is. The game is so nuanced. It's so fascinating though.
Kind of tying that into, I guess what I was thinking about, because I think one of the things that players from that replied back to you commented on was like being able to understand mulligans, and just kind of tying that into what you're saying, like in the idea of like being adaptable and like understanding the nuances of the games. Like mulligans is such a crucial part of what we are trying to do and what we are trying to accomplish. Like it's so important that we've done a video on mulligans, and if you haven't seen that, go check that out. That was from last year. But like I forgot, was it Ian that you talked to one day in a coaching session, and he was just like, that's whenever you're going to see like the most cards out of your deck and things like that. Like
Yeah, the idea that if you think about like playing like again, like let's say I drop a Rhystic Study, and I'm going to see within this game, I'm going to see 14 more cards. 7 cards of the 21 cards that I see come from my opening, like my mulligan. So this accounts for potentially most, if not like sometimes you don't even get a turn 1. Like it's happened. I've literally made it to where people haven't, what I mean? Like you lose before you even get a turn. But sometimes it can account for literally all the cards you're going to see in a game. So it's super important to make sure that you are mulliganing appropriately. And even Evan mentioned that, where he said that he went back doing coaching and looked at these people's hands. And the one thing that he noticed about all of the hands that people won games with was they had a plan. They may not, he was like, if they didn't have a plan, they almost always lost. He's like, but if they had a plan, then they normally did pretty well.
Yeah, and that's why I bring this up with, the comments that they were making as far as like being adaptable and like, to some extent, like some of the things we've talked about too, of like just kind of understanding your role and what the game is and things like that. Like you have an idea of what your deck is trying to do. You try to mulligan for that, but sometimes either the table like that you're sitting at, like, hey, your deck is not the best against these. You need to mulligan to survive, basically. Like you need to try to see more turns. Like I play mid-range decks, you play more control stuff. Like we have to mulligan more aggressive to try to survive at times, depending on what we are playing against. But sometimes like I'll be looking at hands and I'm mulliganing and I'm like, this is all bullshit. This is all just fucked bullshit. And so I'm kind of having to kind of reassess and reevaluate and just go, okay, I got to ditch this game plan. Like I'm playing Kinnan right now and I want to see mana and some value engine. Oh no, I'm not seeing any of that. So I'm going to keep 2 lands and a fish because I'm down to 3 now and I have to find a way to get myself back in the game. I can't go with the game plan I'm wanting to do, but that's where I got to shift gears and just be like politic a little bit more, being able to convince the table whenever, something's happening, or try to, be more open about what I'm seeing as I'm playing, as opposed to just trying to rely on whatever that hand is trying to do, because right now the hand is just fucked, right? I think that, and what I'm referencing is the gameplay that came out a couple weeks ago, where I think I went down to 3 both times in Kinnan, and like I know what I'm looking for in the deck. My mulligans, I did not find anything to get me there. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes you have to not just read the table and try to, and also understand what your deck is trying to do, but sometimes you're having to change your game plan almost on the fly. And if you're not, again, going back to that confidence piece, if you're not confident in doing that, then how successful are you going to be in that pod?
No, I mean, I agree. I guess just also highlighting some of the other like they were almost like singular responses, but just cool stuff. Julian S, who just recently, I mean, again did really good too in the Rumble, but kicked ass recently in an event and like went I think it was like 602 or some crazy shit on VV, which is just nutty. Yeah, like won a whole event, like kicked ass, and also has done really good with like other decks, like with Atali and other shit. Really good player. And I asked them like, what is, in your opinion, you know, and they mentioned like learning. They were like kind of a cop out answer, and then they sent the little nerdy emoji with the finger. They were like learning, but again, I think that that's really important, and that was one of the things they said was like people the game can get muddied down by so many different things, but like truly treating this again like it's a skill and like it's something that you're trying to improve, you have to learn. You have to, you know, after a game, if I fuck up something, I sit down, I go, okay, what do I think I did wrong? I watch all of our gameplay back because I like to be like, where did I fuck something up? Did I lose this game? Did I win this game? Where do I think the turning point? Whatever. And I think that a lot of people that are really good do that sort of stuff. Like even again, like I've talked with Matt, me and Matt, we've played some games together, and then afterwards we reflect, and I'm like, hey man, like what do you think? You know, and he like points out some things, and then we play another game together, and then he'll point out some things, and we'll play another game together, and it's just a constant like learning process and just trying to get better and trying to get better.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think that one was like fantastic, just learning, you know, and leaning into the learning decision or the learning comment, which also I just want to like, I saved this one for like one of the later ones anyway, but like I had a lot of people tell me that they think that Isaac is the best cEDH player that they've ever played against ever. Okay. Like there were a lot of people that said that they have played against like all of the good people, and they were like, literally this person I consider to be the best, or like if not the best, like one of the top 3 best that I've ever played against, which I thought was very cool. So, but ultimately Isaac just said practice. You know, like he's like, just practice. Like, and I think that's actually a pretty important thing, is like a lot of people just, we say it at the end of all of our videos and we make that comment, but like, just go play some cEDH, like go play cEDH. I think that it's kind of hard to get good at cEDH if you're not playing cEDH. So I think that if you really do want to get really good at the game, playing cEDH is like super important, just practicing.
Well, between both of the comments, whether it's about learning or it's about practicing, both of them come down to intentionality. Like you have to be active in both. You have to be intentional about your practice. You have to be intentional about your learning. And because if you aren't, then you're not going to see improvements that you would like to see, regardless of what level you were trying to play at. If that's just casual EDH, if that's casual cEDH, if you're trying to go to your first event, if you've been a tournament grinder for a few years now, it doesn't matter. There has to be that idea of intentionality behind it, or else you're not going to, as we talked about last week, push past those plateaus and continue to get better at the game.
I agree. Some of the other really good ones too, Eric mentioned resiliency. And I think Eric said, and I know a lot of people struggle with this, but like Eric mentioned, you know, like mental health stuff. Just like, again, like he was like, resiliency is a big one for me because like sometimes, like, again, this game, it's still stressful. Like we were talking about excitement versus anxiety. It can be a stressful game. And he was like, resiliency is a super important skill for me to work. And so, again, if you're one of those people that you constantly find yourself getting nervous or just overwhelmed or whatever in a game, resiliency, super important. Our good buddy Jake, he mentioned, he actually gave like, I like how he gave like a good response, but then he broke it down into like, if he could pinpoint 3 things, it was like Windows, when to interact, and then politics. And so I really liked that. And then I think my favorite response that I got to anything, it wasn't even related to that question. It was just my favorite response, and it was Anthony and, you know, Glacial City Anthony, and then Jorman, aka Twang. They just said "fuck the haters." That was the thing they said. "Fuck the haters," and so
that's my favorite. That was my favorite one,
bro. Now,
fuck the haters.
I honestly think that I really enjoyed getting to do this kind of stuff. I really enjoy like learning from people that are good in the space, and like me and you, I feel like come at stuff strictly from like this like we enjoy the format. We're not necessarily great at the format. We're not like the fucking Super Bowl champs of CDA. Like it's just not. That's not a thing. You know what I mean? We're just two guys that are trying to. We're on rebuild years. We're both on a rebuild year. We're trying to get back.
Oh my god!
But
been on a rebuild year for 33 years, buddy.
Yeah, that's right, dude. We're like the Dolphins. You know what I mean? Like we're trying to get better. You know what I mean? Like we need a new coach. We need to hire a couple more. You know what I mean? But maybe get like a GM. Whatever. But new owner. But seriously, like we're trying to get better, and we approach the game from like, again, just wanting to learn. And I think that because of that, like I really enjoy, I've told you, like the gathering aspect of this game. And I really enjoy getting to talk to these players and to have conversations with people. And I don't care who the fuck you are in this space. I will gladly have a conversation. As long as you are nice and respectful, I will absolutely be nice and respectful back. I want to have conversations with everybody in the space. I want to make friends with so many people in the space. That was one of my biggest goals when doing this, was like I just wanted to learn and to make friends. And a lot of the people that are good in the space, they're fucking awesome people. But if you're one of those people that are out there just being a dickhead, and I don't know how else to call it, but you're just being just being a dickhead. Get out of here, dude. Like anybody that's being like, don't give me that shit. Like, dude, we got so many comments on some of these videos. People hating on Evan. Evan's a great dude. People hate, like, people talking shit, like saying stuff about Jordan. Obviously, like, fuck you, dude. I don't know what to tell you. At the end of the day, like, I want to have conversations with people, and I'm going to have a conversation with whoever the fuck I want. Somebody told us that I'm not going to pin no comments because fuck them. They don't get the spotlight. But, damn, now my whole computer is like shit in the bed too, right? As I'm trying to talk all this shit. But,
oh no, it's the haters.
That's right, dude. They got me. But,
they fucking got him.
But seriously, dude, like at the end of the day, man, like people made that comment. They're like, you have a responsibility. Dude, this is our podcast. We want to talk to people.
Absolutely.
And we want to have whoever on. Fuck you. I'm just saying. So I'm going to have a good time meeting people, talking with people, learning. And like anybody that wants to come along and watch these videos and like learn with us, grow with us, get better with any of that stuff. I love you. I'm glad to have you. I'm super excited that you found the channel. I'm super excited that you're a part of our whole little journey. I'm excited to meet you at an event one day. I'm excited to hopefully play you in an event one day. But if you're out here just spreading negativity, get fucking lost, dude. Get out of here. Go play. Right. I had too much of that shit at Yu-Gi-Oh. Go play fucking Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm gonna go play some CEDH. You go play fucking Yu-Gi-Oh or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and just ditto on all of it, because Blake and I, we've had some conversations the past couple of weeks, and just like, fuck them. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The people that we care about and the people that we like and the people that we want to bring along on this journey, whether or not you are a tournament grinder and you watch us, or maybe you're getting into cEDH, or you've been playing for a while, those of you that have been supportive of us, we appreciate you all. Everyone else, not everyone else. Just the main problematic people.
Chase is like, if you haven't found the channel yet, what the fuck? No. No, I'm with you. I get it. Yeah. Like I said, dude, at the end of the day, like no matter what you do, literally no matter what you do, there are going to be people that don't like you. There are people that I've met some awesome people out there. Matt Hayes, good example. Matt Hayes, such a nice guy. I guarantee you there's some player out there that's like, oh, I fucking hate Matt Hayes. And if you hate Matt Hayes, the Matt Hayes, fuck you, dude. No,
fuck you. Yeah.
But like, seriously, dude, I think that just all these people are, everybody that I've met in this space, like for the most part, has been so awesome. And those are the people that I feel like we make content for, and it's fun because, again, I want to learn. I want to get better. I know a lot of them want to learn and they want to get better. And so my goal is just continue to grow. And again, like I want to get better at the game. I want to consistently put up some better like tournament performances. I don't care. I told Zach that I'm not necessarily here to be top tier cEDH guy that's tournament grinding, going to events every fucking weekend. Like literally I'm 52 weeks in a year. I'm 53 events a year, brother. Like let's fucking get it. You know, like I'm not looking to do that. I've got a family. I got a wife, got a kid. I've got a job. I got responsibilities. I got other hobbies too, but I do want to get better at the game. And so if you're somebody that is like in that same space of like, hey, I really like this game. I'm not necessarily a tournament grinder, but I want to get better. Or you are just a tournament grinder and you just want to learn and get better with this. I'm happy to have you. Like I said, I'm excited to make content for you. I'm excited to chat with you in the comments section, chat on Discord, whatever. But yeah, if you're just here to be negative, if you're here to comment about how Draneth Magistrate is the best game changer in the world and Yuriko's top tier, get the fuck out of here.
Oh man, but you know, I don't know if you have any of the other things that you want to talk about from the list, but everything that he just discussed, you know, I think actually kind of comes down to the probably one of the more important comments from the document. And even though the full comment is not on there because I think it was TLDR'd, but it was from Jacob L. Bad Dog, and essentially that you have to have passion, drive, and love for cEDH. Like
Hell yeah.
if you don't feel that way about the format, then fuck you. No, but
brother, no, shout out Jacob. Jacob's actually super cool too. Like he invited me into like a really good space with like other good players into like a Discord server where they're always practicing and getting better. And he gave me a really good response. And I didn't put the whole response there, but the dude thinks super fucking thoroughly about cEDH.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just grateful that these people took the time. I'm just some fucking random dude with a podcast hopping into your Discord DM and being like, "Hey, well, how do I get better at cEDH?" And then they're like, "Hey, man, let me write you an autobiography, or like, let me write you a novel." You know what I mean? Like, let me big old document. And I'm just like, these people are so sweet because again, like it is what it is, man. All these. I'm just thankful to be a part of this. Even if this shit died tomorrow, I'm just happy to have been a part of it. So I'm having a good time.
Yep.
Having a good time. We're having a good time. We're getting demonetized.
Oh my God, please, no. It's not like we're making enough anyway, but no.
Man out of you. Sorry.
Don't derail the conversation. We're right at the end. So, but yeah, I think all this advice is great. And again, if you want to actually see like the more detailed responses of people in this, and hopefully we get more responses back following this video from some of the other players that you reached out to, and hopefully they'll, you know, put comments down like, you know, what is it that you guys took away from this? And, you know, if you're not really sure, because we kind of went back and forth and just kind of weaved some of the things together, again, join our Discord so that way you can actually go to the advice tab and find this document. I'm sure it's a pinned comment somewhere in there that Blake will continue to elaborate on, so you can actually see what these players like really said. You know, we kind of paraphrased a lot of things and just try to like, I guess, keep it a little bit more shorter for the sake of the listeners, you know, because we always rant and ramble. But yeah, go and check that out. And the way to do that is join our Discord. You know, because all these players in the space, they are great people. And again, it goes back to that last comments from Bad Dog. Like, they're all passionate. They love this format. Like, there's the drive to continue to get better. And just like Blake did, like, a lot of these people are also open to like just questions. You know, being able to jump in Discords and message people directly and just being able to have a conversation with them to answer specific questions. Or if you will go a little bit further than that, like, a lot of these people probably offer coaching services too. Like, go check them out. If, you know, you are like us in trying to kind of find where you're at in your own journey of cEDH and trying to improve and get better on things and so on.
100% agree. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
And if any of these people, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but if you're a fan of any of these people, and you just happen to be like, wow, I really like, you know, sunglasses, good old Julian, like, I really like that VV list. Go to Man of All Proxies and proxy that shit off, and then you too can play it. If you like Zach's Blue Farm list, or like Brandon's Shorakai list, or you like, you know, Logan's wrong side list, or you like Jason's, you know, what any of the lists that Jason plays, because Jason just has like kind of been experimenting with some different stuff right now. But also if you like, you know, Evan's freaking Kennen list, or like just any of these lists, like go to Man of All Proxies, proxy them off, use code Triple C. I'm probably gonna do it backwards again. There it goes.
It is what it is.
But
I won't even make fun of you this time for it.
Yeah, go to Man of All Proxies. I'm gonna do it this way. We're just gonna see if that works. I'm sure whenever I render this, it's gonna be like, but whenever and then obviously like helps. Some of them actually have lists that are already on like the Hall of Champions too. Yeah. So again, like you're helping them out, you're helping us out. So like go, and then again, like go help Notorious and them out. Like they're doing something awesome over there. So go help them out. It helps the channel out too. But yeah. So yeah, go to Man of All Proxies. And then use those decks to play some cEDH. But Chase, you got anything else?
What I was going to ask you, for those of you that have made it this far, whether we're talking about the comments that these players made, or we went on that little rant of talking shit about people that have talked shit to us these past few weeks, I was going to ask Blake, do you have anything that you want to ask the people to drop down in the comments below if they've made it this far in the video?
You know what? Honestly, tell me what skill, like if there's one skill this year, tell me what one skill you're gonna work to improve on this year for cEDH. I'm curious to know like what things you all are focused on, because like obviously like this list, it pointed out a lot of things that I didn't even realize I should be focusing on. Obviously people say politics, but it broke down aspects to politics that I wasn't aware of, it broke down aspects to mulligans I wasn't aware of, deck selection, all sorts of stuff. So I'm curious what skill you're trying to work on and improve in cEDH this year. And I think I highlighted it in like the goals video, but like I even outlined some of the skills that I'm trying to work on this year in cEDH. So if you haven't watched it, go watch that episode and see what some of our goals are for this year. But yeah, let us know like what one skill are you going to be working on this year to get better at cEDH?
All right. Awesome. Well, I think that about wraps it up for today. So thank you for joining in with us. Yeah, like Blake was saying, check out Man of All Proxies. Use code Triple C. If you've made it this far in the video and you're still not subscribed, go on ahead and hit that down below. Subscribe to us. We're almost there at 2K. Like we're like a couple hundred off. Like this, but that's still pretty good. Like, drop the comments down below, and as always,
go play some cEDH. We're actually gonna go play Eurocone Flubs, but then we got snowed out, so
we had planned on it. We still played it on the channel.
I don't know about you, but I think that was God's way of telling me that I shouldn't play that deck.
Probably. Oh my God.